Hi there, welcome back. I have a little bit more work to do on Miss Bessie Maud here. I've rethought what I'm going to do up here. So for all the work I did of playing with the gold, where'd it go? I was playing with the gold painted fabric, thinking I was going to do that. But you know what? For an elegant spinster lady, this seemed a little plain. So I decided we definitely need a little bit of lace up here. The bottom is still really nice. Makes me wonder what was going on, maybe how it was stored. Something was always leaning on the top. It could have been on somebody's bookshelf for literally decades with pressure on the top, and the bottom is in very good shape. So what I did, if I'm speaking softly, I hope you can hear, I have someone asleep over here. Let's see how much time she'll give us. Hopefully we can get some of this done. I've already fortified the hinges. I use a very fine weave cheesecloth. I'll try and find the link for it. I just get it on Amazon. And do you see how it's much finer than the stuff that kind of looks like cobwebs, which I love too. It has its use too. This one is a very fine, definite north, south, east, west weave to it. And I really love using this when I just want some light support inside the hinges of a spine. And I also find when I'm doing that, I really love using a good quality PVA. It retains its bendy, stretchy, apparently better, and that's certainly what I have found to be the case. Unlike some glues that will either dry cracky or dry shiny, which because there's some splits in there, if it's seeped through, I didn't want shiny on the other side, although I probably could have got away with it because there's so much gold here. Now, the splits are still going to be, in a way, be visible. You know, the new owner might think, oh, there's a split, but the split has been fortified from underneath. So this little book is now going to be fine. It's going to have this little split. I may go in and try and touch it up with just a little sliver, like I'll use a thread or a feather of a paintbrush that I have that's just like 3 bristles thick, and see about maybe just dabbing a little bit of either gold paint, just something to camouflage this a bit. I'm going to think about it though, it's not urgent. Anyhow, so because I changed my mind about how I'm going to deal with this, of course I thought I'd bring you along so you can see what goes on in my brain. So I was thinking, and I've done this before as well, of just doing some lace, in this case just at her top. I'm going to leave the bottom blank. It'll sort of be in the spirit of the title is up here and the publisher chose to leave the bottom blank. And because it's in such nice condition, I agree. Let's just leave it blank. So I have this tiny little swatch of lace that I found somewhere along the way. I've tea-dyed it at some point. This was sort of white, I think. And what I want to do is I want to put that up here by about there. Now, I'm going to turn this around so that I can see. So what I plan to do is I want it just long enough so that there's sort of a little purposeful overlap over this, the title, The Poems by Longfellow. But this is really thick. I don't want to overlap this around the book. I am simply going to put it on the top. Now, because this is machine done, If I choose to trim some of this away so that it fits better, because if I put it there, I'm going to lose poems. So I want it a little higher up, which means I don't want all this. It's because it's only going to be on the top. I'm going to be using a fabric in behind, and I have this fabric which I like, and I think this will sort of camouflage. Isn't that nice? It's just, it looks like what we love about junk journals. It's just says seeds and plants, and it's got writing and stamps, and this fabric is a junk journaler's dream. I think I found it at a quilt store one day. Remember 2 years ago, I can't believe it's been 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when I was using up all my fabric to make masks for our local hospital, the nurses in the pediatric intensive care unit were running out of masks, and so I made masks and donated them to the hospital. But I used up all my fabric, my junk journal fabric, so I treated myself, and actually one of the few times, and went out and bought picked out some pretty ones and treated myself. Anyhow, so what I want is I want to end up with a half circle. I want this to be the center, and then the rest to just come across the top. Now, if I need to, what I'm going to do is I'll glue this into place. I will be securing this in behind. Most likely, we will be using this pre-made spine that we did the other day together, and you can see I haven't been back up here. A baby in the house is very, very, throws my schedule off, and it's not forever, so I don't begrudge her that. She's only going to be little for a little time. So this is quite fine to leave it on the doweling. If you're one of those people, you got a job and you go to work, and maybe you've got 2 days a week that you work on your journals, it'll be fine if you leave it on the doweling. So I'm expecting that I'm probably going to wrap this across at least the top part of the spine liner, because this is fine down here. So that's what I'm anticipating I'm going to do. And I'm just letting you know simply because if I get to work on it and I don't have the camera on, I want you to know what my plans were. So what I'm doing is I'm going in here and I'm snipping along the natural thread, the pattern here. And there was the point I was making. See, it all still comes full circle. So I'm going through, I'm snipping. My plan is I'm going to see how I feel once I get this. There we go. Once I get this there, and see how now I'm going around those laces. So if that sticks up a little at the top of the book, I still think that'll look pretty. If I'm concerned that it's going to take beating, right? I mean, obviously it's already taken a beating. It's the spine of the book. The spine takes a beating. I may actually use my awl. I don't want to do sewing machine across there because I'll have had my curved spine put into place, and I'll mash my curved spine. But I may poke with my awl along here and hand stitch this down using a thread that's the same color as this lace. And it should just simply blend into the lace, but it'll secure that onto the spine. It'll camouflage and make that look pretty. And I think we'll accomplish what we want. So I'm going to tidy this up. It's junk journal, and she's an old girl, right? What did we say the other day? Pre-1883, 82. So she's an old girl, and I don't mind if the lace looks a little worn, a little tattered. I'm not looking for pristine. So just going along, and I'm separating those little pieces where there seems to just be a natural break in the pattern of the lace folding it on itself so I can see where I cut on the other side. There we go. Now I think that's probably still going to be bigger than I want, but it's just like when we're getting our hair cut, right? We can always take off a bit more, but we can't glue it back on. So yeah, I definitely want quite a bit more off. I want all of this off. Come on. There we go. We had such a good night last night with the little lady. She went to bed at 10:30, which I'm thrilled with. No, she went to bed at 10. I'm usually a 10:30 person. But it's just like they always say with an infant. When, you got an infant, you sleep when the baby sleeps. Well, she seems to be wanting to conk out by 9:30 or 10. You know what? I'm more than happy to go to bed at 9:30 or 10. And she slept right through till 6 o'clock. So she tried to stir a little bit at 5. And I would have been happy to get up at 5 with her, but I thought, I'm just going to wait this out and see where the fussing, it was just a little tiny bit of whimpering. But she didn't have herself all worked up. Oh yeah, I like that. So see how that's sort of, it's a little bit above the top, which I'm fine with. I'll glue it down. I definitely believe I'm going to stitch it through, and then I'll fortify the underside. And then it should, fingers crossed, let's do a practice run. See why I love this thing? To hold books up vertically. Let's see. So that should go like that. It'll give it a tiny little elegant shabby chic look. And I may very well, still thinking I might take a bit more off here. I may very well put a brad right here and right here. Again, just to give it a little bit of metal finishing to make it look like that all this little embellishment was purposeful and always there. I'm thinking about that. I think that might look pretty. Let's take a look and see. Anyhow, yeah, it makes me think about all the wonderful, wonderful things that new parents have for their babies. And I don't know about you, but when I had babies, we put them to bed and we went to bed. And then if they got up in the night, and for whatever reason, wet or hungry, they actually had to work up a bit of a cry. Nowadays, with the monitors and cameras and that, they practically have to stretch and toot, and the parents, I can see how you could live on the edge of your bed. Is he awake? Is he not awake? Is he awake? Is he not? Whereas for us, we went to bed, and if they stirred and made a little squeaky noise, we just were asleep. They could resettle them, soothe themselves, resettle themselves. But if they were upset and they got themselves in enough of a feisty situation, then yeah, we heard them and went into it. And I think that's what she was doing this morning at 5, because I was hearing some little squeaks and that coming from her bed. But then I heard the You know, when they lay down and the and then she was quiet again for another hour till 6 o'clock. And it was actually me. I thought, okay, I can't stay in bed any longer. And so I'm talking and I should be working. And I just thought, I can't stay in bed any longer. Oh yeah, I do like that. That's a nice match. These ones are really old. This is actually how I found them at the thrift store. They were in an old Bradisol tin. And they're just wonderfully tarnished yellow brass brads. Anyhow, yeah, so I was trying to tiptoe around because I thought I want to see if I can get some things, you know, brush my teeth and get my mouth guard out of my mouth. And ugh, I don't know if you sleep with a mouth guard, but it's not always the nicest in the morning. And that's when she sort of heard, oh, Mom's up. And we started our day. But boy, oh boy, 10 a.m. I'm going to take a little bit more off. 10 a.m. Oh, pardon me, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. is lovely. Trying to see. You know what? I think I know what I'll do. Okay, wish me luck. Fortunately, if I blow this, I've got more. I'm going to take this part off, but I'm going to leave this little flower. There's a little flower right here. I'm going to leave it whole. Oh, 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 don't be doing that. There we go. And then I'm going to take that off. And then that little flower can peek out over the top. You know what? These are very sharp. And they're usually not catching like that. But I used them to cut something that still had a bit of wet glue on it. And so they're little. I need to use some acetone and give them a cleanup. I don't know if you can see. It's got some wet glue on it. Okay. Yeah, I like that. And then that one little flower sticks up over the top. I'm going to let that overlap up there. I'm going to let it overlap down here. And then I'll be fortifying it from the other side out. And we'll be good to go. Hopefully I'll get that on camera, but if I don't, you got the gist. I talked you through it. And I hope it makes sense to you. If you got any questions, just write them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. All right, you know what? I did really well. I'm going to sign off here and hope you all have a great day, and thanks for joining me. And because I have a feeling I'm watching her over there, and little Missy is starting to stir, and she's done very well. She's been asleep for an hour and a half for me. So, all right, take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.